It is so predictive of developing heart disease, developing diabetes, of developing cancer, developing memory loss, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. Like I say, if I had one test, that's what I would order.
Doc, have you ever had a heart attack yourself?
Better not, no.
I was going to say, no, but the only reason I ask is because for you to know. So if you've never had a heart attack yourself, to the average person who, because you've written the books, New York Times bestseller, there's a number of books you've written on health, the plant paradox, you're talking about the energy paradox that's coming out, I think, March of 2021, which is very exciting to see that one coming out. But for the average person that's not in your world, that they're just living their lives, they're trying to pay their bills, they're trying to build their business, they're trying to move up in life, and at the same time enjoy their lives. One, how do we go about preventing? Like, one is preventative. What can I do from the preventative standpoint? Two is, is there ages? Like, I went to the doctor this week to do my physical, and the nurse comes on, she says, have you ever done a colonoscopy? I said, no. She says, how old are you? I said, 42. She said, oh, you'll do that when you're hitting 50. Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe that's something you do in your 50s. Okay, great. What are is there a preventative things I need to be worried about in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s? How often I go see the doctor? What are some things I can do where I don't have to one day sit there saying, why am I having this elephant on my chest?
Well, there's a number of things you can do, and it's actually never too early to start doing it. One thing I've told anyone who will listen, and you probably have never had it measured, most doctors will measure a fasting glucose, which is a fasting blood sugar. A lot of doctors will measure what's called hemoglobin A1C, and if you watch commercials, I got my A1C down. Hemoglobin A1C in general looks at an average for the 2 months prior to the blood test of how much sugar and how much protein you're handling. And we use hemoglobin A1C to look at diabetes, pre-diabetes, and as I tell anyone who will listen, telling somebody they're a pre-diabetic is like telling a woman she's a little bit pregnant. There's no difference between pre-diabetes and diabetes, which leads me into, I think, if I tell people if there is one blood test and all you get is one, and an $8 blood test, you want to get a fasting insulin level. And if that fasting insulin level is above 9, I can tell you that lots of bad things are in store for you going forward. It is so predictive of developing heart disease, developing diabetes, of developing cancer, developing memory loss, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. Like I say, if I had one test, that's what I would order. And I have a third-year residents in family medicine rotate through my clinic for a month, and this is their third year before they go out into practice. And not one so far of these residents have ever heard of ordering a fasting insulin level and don't know the significance of that. The other thing, if I had two tests, is I would get a triglyceride and HDL level. I, quite frankly, could care less about total cholesterol. I could care less about LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. What I want to know is the triglycerides, which are the first form of fat that you manufacture from sugars and starches. And I want to know HDL, which is the, quote, good cholesterol. And one of the best predictors of never, ever, ever getting heart disease is your HDL and triglycerides should preferably be equal. And if possible, your HDL should be higher than triglycerides. So those are a couple of simple tests to hang your hat on.